Hey, hey, my lovely solos. Welcome back to another episode. Dr. Nick here, wellness coach and wholeness advocate, and you are listening to Holistic Mental Health for Women Solopreneurs, where we prioritize our wellness so we can create sustainable impact without burning out. All right. So, today's episode, ladies, we're going to do something a little bit different. As we get ready to dive in today, I want to share a few things with you up front to make sure you're ready to get the absolute most out of today's session. First thing, and I know this may be tough for you if you're used to listening to me while you're multitasking or driving. I'm going to encourage you to try not to do that today. I want you to find somewhere quiet where you can really allow yourself to relax and absorb everything that's happening in this episode. So, if you are driving right now, I would absolutely recommend saving this episode for later and maybe go back and revisit a previous episode, one that you've missed. I'm sure there's plenty of them. So, especially from the beginning of my journey as a podcaster, check some of those out today if you are not able to kind of slow down and really digest this episode. All right. This is really important because I want you to enjoy this. I want you to give yourself the space, right? You deserve to experience this episode in stillness and with great intention. I'm a part of a somatic training right now. And for those of you that don't know what somatic training is, it's when um, you are connecting the breath and the body, the mind and the body, connecting those things and seeing how they interact and impact one another. So I'm getting a coaching certification in somatic coaching, which is really awesome and powerful. But what I realized in my first class this last week was when we were going through the exercises, I realized how much I need it. Like, it's not just something that's fun to talk about. It's not just, a buzzword. It is truly, truly beneficial to our bodies. And as I was doing the exercises, I could tell how much tension I had been holding and just how much relaxation I was able to get to in just a few moments. So, really, that's what this episode is about today. You know, we're not talking about the work. We're not talking about pausing. We're actually doing it today. We are going to pause together today. Ladies, today is about pausing long enough to hear what's underneath the noise. It may feel odd for a podcast. I totally get that. Um, and it may even feel a little uncomfortable. But listen, hang with me long enough and you'll realize that I do things a little out of the box sometimes. And that's okay. We need that. All the feelings, all the uncertainty, hesitation that may come up, all of that's okay. I'm just going to encourage you to ride the wave of feelings that come along and allow yourself to settle and dig in. So, since you probably weren't prepared for this today, now may be a good time to pause the episode and get yourself as comfy as possible. You may want to grab a journal, a notebook, a piece of paper, a blanket, make sure you have your water, and just settle in. All right, ladies, let's pause. Lean in. I want you, if you're able, put both feet on the floor for grounding, if that feels right for you. Unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders. No judgment, no fixing, just noticing. Now take one slow breath in through your nose and slowly release it. Again, slowly breathe in as deeply as you can. Slowly breathe out through your mouth. One more time in and slowly breathe out. As you breathe and continue this rhythm, notice any areas of tension. Notice your shoulders, your chest, stomach, your hands. Notice your face. Notice anything that feels tight, tired, or heavy. And if your mind starts wandering, that's okay. There's no judgment for that. You just gently come back. There's nothing to perform, nothing to prove, nothing to produce in this moment. You are simply practicing presence. Breathe in and release it slowly. For some, slowing down like this can feel uncomfortable. You may realize how long it's been since you sat in silence without multitasking or scrolling or taking in content or rushing to the next thing. Sometimes emotions can bubble up when we finally give ourselves the space to just be. And all of that is okay. You are free in this moment to feel and to be. You are safe. Take another slow breath in and just allow yourself to come to a place of peace, stillness, completely in this present moment. If you grabbed a journal, a notebook, or a piece of paper, I want you to grab that. And if you don't have a journal or paper or anything to write on, that's okay too. You can simply sit and let your mind take in the exercise, the questions of today. I'm going to read a prompt, and after each prompt I read, I want you to sit with it. No rushing, no forcing, just honesty and what immediately comes up for you. What dream, vision, idea, goal have you been carrying in your heart, in your mind, that you haven't fully given yourself permission to pursue? What is that for you? What comes up for you? But you haven't allowed yourself to go there. You haven't allowed yourself to take the step. As you let your mind sit with this idea, dream, vision, goal, what emotions come up for you? What have been the barriers to allowing yourself the permission to move? Has it been an issue of capacity, fear, uncertainty, grief, resistance? You may be thinking about something you've been quietly carrying for years, but have continually pushed it aside. Something that keeps returning to you no matter how many times you dismiss it. Something that meets you in your dreams at night. Just notice the things that come up. What do you believe is the fear underneath the hesitation? What is that for you? Can you name that today? Could be failure, fear of visibility or rejection, disappointing people, disappointing yourself, embarrassment for having to start over, success, even being seen differently or as not enough, not feeling ready, or maybe it's something else that comes up for you. Whatever comes up, allow it to come. Allow yourself to write it, look at it, speak it out loud, even. Meet that fear head on today with honesty and truth, not shame or condemnation. Now, ladies, if the idea, dream, vision, goal that came up for you already existed in your life and it was thriving and you were flourishing as you lived it out, what would your life look like? What would shift for you emotionally, spiritually, financially, relationally, creatively? How would you feel? How would you move differently? What version of you exists in that reality? And ladies, I want you to pay attention, right? Lean in, as I always say. I want you to notice that your mind, your nervous system, your body may immediately start trying to explain why this thriving, flourishing life is unrealistic. And that's okay because we're not trying to solve the whole thing today. Right? We're not trying to overhaul your entire life to create this new reality today. Today is simply about letting yourself imagine, letting yourself sit in the finished work, right? Allowing yourself to see the dream, the vision, the whole, the dream, the vision, the goal completed, and see yourself living it out. All right, ladies, I want you to take a slow breath in and slowly release it. And I want you to come back to that rhythm of the breath in deeply, out slowly, in deeply, out slowly. Ladies, you just practiced a form of pausing. We weren't striving for perfection. We weren't striving for productivity. We weren't striving for performance, but presence and increased awareness, a spaciousness and honesty. Because when you allow yourself to sit in awareness in a spacious place and be honest with what's going on inside of you, that's the kind of pause that changes things. When you are able to slow down long enough to hear yourself clearly, things begin to shift. Now, ladies, I know this episode was different, slower, quieter, more spacious. But would you agree with me that we need more moments like this, especially as women solopreneurs, women that are building businesses, carrying visions and responsibilities of caregiving, creativity, leadership, all these different hats that we carry all at once in life? What you just experienced is exactly what I've been building. I'm creating a way for us to practice this regularly together, not on the podcast, but in my community, not just talking about wellness, not just learning about pausing, but actually experiencing it, doing it together in community. They're called the pause sessions. They're coming very soon. There will be a variety of them. This is just one of the kinds that will exist. And honestly, I cannot wait to share more with you. And I truly hope that if this episode landed with you, that you will stay connected and consider joining future pause sessions. You'll be able to find out more about the pause sessions as they're released when you stay connected with me on my newsletter, The Pause for Solos. The subscription link will be in the show notes of this episode. Ladies, take care of yourself this week. Remember, not everything meaningful, powerful, and impactful needs to grow with great pressure. Sometimes things grow in stillness. Until next time, ladies, nurture the wholeness within.